FaZe has just made the blockbuster signing of getting the GOAT s1mple on loan, just in time for the Blast TV Austin Major. A move I know everybody is very excited for. It's very difficult being a FaZe fan these last few months.
He picked up up.
That's
What was that before?
Karrigan. He should only.
In this video, we're gonna answer 3 questions. 1. What's the problem with FaZe Clan? 2. How do we fix it? And 3. Is s1mple part of that solution? We all remember their run to the final of the Perfect World Shanghai Major, and the only thing that could stop them was Donk being Donk, and Magic's being a second Donk. And the only change they made since then was put a leash in the vacancy that Rob's left. It's all a leash fault, right? Well, not exactly. Remember how bad FaZe was the end of last year? Yes, they made 2 major finals in 2024 alone, but they didn't achieve anything else besides that. Yes, they won the IM Chengdu finals, but remember, the top 2, 3, 4 teams weren't there, and that was at the beginning of last year. They didn't do anything after that. And people were already demanding for Brokies and Robs their head. I remember it being difficult being a FaZe fan too back then. But things weren't better then. It's just things are worse now. Here's an insane stat that's gonna blow your mind. Listen to this, listen to this. Alright. FaZe have won their own map pick 17 out of 30 times. That means that the map you pick, that you're the best at, that you can pick any map, and you're like, yes, we have a favorable position here, and you win it only 57% of the time. That's a coin toss. That's ridiculous. And this ridiculously bad performance is showing in their results at tournaments. And I don't even want to look at the tournaments, but we're gonna just briefly go through them and just talk how they're shit. Alright, let's go through it. IM Katowice, first big event. Only lost to Vitality and Eternal Fire, number 1 and number 4. It's not that bad, can be worse. I don't blame him, alright? PGL Cluj-Napoca, this event was theirs to win, alright? And this is where it goes wrong. This is where it's getting ugly. They lost against the new Falcons, even without Monacy, in the semifinals, and even lost to Astralis in the third place decider, but who cares about those, alright? Blast Open Lisbon, terrible event for FaZe, loss against Virtus Pro, and that's already disappointing, but it's embarrassing to lose 13-0. It's scandalous. It's scandalous, genuinely. PGL Bucharest, made semis, weakest run ever. Only beat Pain, Rare Adam, lose to Complexity, like what? Then you win against Epoch G or Bitcoin, whatever they call it now. We only win against 3D Max in the playoffs, of which it was their first playoff as a team, so that's not impressive. They were terrible, and remember, this is PGL. They get some shit teams there. IM Melbourne only beat Pain and 3D Max again. Lose against Gamer Legion, who only have like the fraction of the same amount of money FaZe possesses, and then lose against a Clutch. Do not even make playoffs. All right, Blast Rivals Season 1. Only team they beat? FlyQuest. Stupid. Bad. Why can't this team perform? And the answer is, FaZe is just not the team it used to be. I know, that, of course. But what made FaZe special is not there anymore. And what made FaZe special was that X factor, that they didn't fluster in big games, that they didn't feel the tension, or that the tension only made them better and would only overwhelm the opponents in the server. FaZe possesses that X factor that makes them so dangerous in the server and so entertaining to watch. If you could count on anything in Counter-Strike, it's that FaZe show up in playoffs. And that's just not the case anymore. And even Elise is starting to admit it.
Oh my god! He admitted!
We had a lot of tension in the semifinals and afterwards. Tension? Feel tension? FaZe? It's ridiculous. Like, if there's a team that would thrive with tension, it's FaZe. Excuse me. Was. And now without that X factor, they have to rely on the fundamentals even more. And Rain reveals that's not going great either. He says, In terms of me and my roles, I've switched around a lot, and I'm playing more passive and lurky roles now, so I need some time to get used to it as well. It's very hard to switch from the last 10 years of playing aggressively, and what John, Elige, coming in, I think it was the same when Twist came into the team. It's about getting used to the chaos, because I think it's very chaotic, and he's used to very different system. But I think he's starting to pick it up, like, to embrace the chaos and kind of just not give a fuck when there's so much chaos, you know? So I think it's going forward. Besides the X Factor not being there anymore, the fundamentals are not working because Elige is just a fundamentally different player than Robs. Instead of being calm and collected, Elige is a bit more of a hothead and emotional. Instead of being self-sufficient, Elige is a little bit more demanding in the server. Instead of passive, Elige is aggressive. And because Elige is a completely different player, but you still want to, use those abilities that he brings, Rain has to change into a player he's not, and that's just not something you can ask of a 30-year-old player. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Elige also has the ego that he wants to change the entire communication inside the team. And not have this chaotic, but hey, it's a major winning and major finalist getting communication method, alright? And this just causes more problems with the fundamentals and with the team. So you didn't just change one player, you changed an entire structure and entire communication method. Of course, things are not gelling. And Elige is known to be a little bit more of a complicated player to play with, and Maui Snake can explain it better than I can.
Very hard to touch on like public platforms simply because it's like you kind of know that it's tough to even bring it to a podcast because it's like Elige has never been like a super great vibes guy. He's not. Yeah, he's not a great vibes guy, and it's not that he's always been a toxic asset or something like that. Like the old stories of s1mple, for example, dwarf anything that I've heard regarding Elige. You know, it's like that was a guy that was probably actually hurting his team's mentality significantly. But to me, Elige has just always been more of a perfectionist, and he wants to see things run in a system that he can follow.
If this 5-man squad with s1mple in the place of Brokey can't make the semis at the Blast TV Austin Major, then I believe they have to make some serious changes. And I know they won't make it. How do you fix FaZe? Well, you would think I would say kick Elige because he brings so many problems and bring in a passive player to replace Robs. But I'm gonna do what is colloquially known in the industry as a big no-no. I know it. He's been in the team for 9 years now. In January 2026, he's gonna be there for 10 years. He's the stable rock, he's the ultimate FaZe player, he's the face of FaZe Clan. But I fear there's no more space in FaZe Clan for Rain. If he was lined up to become the IGL after Karrigan left, then yeah, 100% they have to keep him. But he is just not a leader of men, and he stated this time and time again. He just doesn't have it in him. He's not a leader type. But just imagine having Rain in the server in the middle and Karrigan behind him, manning the team for another 5 years. Wouldn't that be wonderful? He's a soldier, and he's one of the best at it. But it's time for this soldier to go home. Don't be sad, it's over. Be happy, it took so long. I believe there's no time building the perfect roster, one roster change at a time. I think we have to make a big decision because we're running out of time. Karrigan has to win trophies right now before it's too late. He's already 35 and we don't know how many more years he has left on this planet. Alright, it sounds like he's dying, but like, it feels like it, no? Like, we're running out of time. We need to get some wins under our belts right now that we have the GOAT, in my opinion. And he has to cement that title now. But who can replace Rain? Player has to be fundamentally different from Elige so there's no overlap. And we can't have a player with ego because we already have Elige, Karrigan, and possibly s1mple that are gonna call the shots in some way. So we can't have that. Here are the options to replace Rain. First off, Serato. Very passive, immaculate aim, is probably very unhappy with this international lineup when he repeatedly rejected international offers because he wanted to play with a Brazilian squad. Well, what's gonna happen now? Look at how this guy has squandered his career. He has won 4 trophies, and 3 of them were in the online era in a region-specific tournament. Like, what is this guy doing? But I fear there are 2 issues. 1, language barrier. I don't think he's that comfortable speaking English and he doesn't want to. And 2, I think he's just too complacent. I think he's just gonna reject them again. And he's just gonna play with his boy Yuri. Yimpvat, again, passive player, amazing aim, intelligent, system player, brings no ego. Perfect for the role. Promise Ardo, I think he's very comfortable at Mouse, and if he ever considers leaving, I fear he's gonna go to Falcons for the big bucks, and FaZe is gonna come in second. PR, similar to Rob's, passive, immaculate aim, mechanics, seems like a smart guy. Could he become the third star player that Karrigan brings up after Robs and Frozen? Sadly though, he's a little bit young right now, he's 17 years old, and he can really use playing in the lower end and having a little bit less expectations and more freedom in the squad to become even better. But they didn't make the major this year, so maybe if he really wants to, and he wants to make a lot of money, he could join FaZe. Perfecto, he's a free agent. We don't know what his level is because he has been on the bench for a year, but we're gonna see it at IM Dallas where he's standing in for BC Game. Now with S1mple in the roster, if he decides to stay, he can maybe bring his boy in, which is gonna be Perfecto, who were already lined up to make a team together, they were thinking. But that's only if the S1mple experiment works. And lastly, HeavyGod. As I said in my last video, G2 is a sinking ship. They have to make some seriously good signings to keep a player like him happy. He just signed for a year, so he's not gonna go for cheap. He's young, he has no drama, he has amazing aim. You can keep him for years. He's like a young Rain. Like, you can't tell these guys apart. It's crazy. And lastly, is S1mple part of the solution? We know S1mple's ceiling, but we don't know if he still has it in him. So in my video, will S1mple return to Counter-Strike? I explained why I think S1mple is still hungry and ready to play Tier 1 CS. So check that one out. But if there's any player that inhibits the X Factor, FaZe is lacking.
15 seconds, they've got to get out. S1mple gets only one in return. Jumps up and somehow finds Sergey, but he hasn't found the bomb. He will now. And he goes away from default because he doesn't want to get naded. He also knows there's a flank, and he also knows he needs position. Whoa! He actually gets the first one. He's got a chance. He knows Alu's up close, and he sneaks around. Oh, that's what we like from S1mple.
And doesn't get nervous in playoffs.
See double smokes in the same place there. S1mple just jumping casually into the side. He's gonna fall down again. What is this shot from S1mple? Are you serious? What is that? You can't do that, S1mple. That's not allowed.
It's simple. This is my FaZe lineup that I propose they get after the Blast TV Austin Major. Karrigan, Frozen, Elish, HeavyGod, and S1mple. Doesn't this look sick? Doesn't this lineup look like they can fuck? And it can't be that expensive. G2 is falling apart and HeavyGod probably wants to leave. And S1mple is almost out of his contract. This is the moment you can sign these players. This can win Karrigan another major and cement him as the GOAT IGL of Counter-Strike. Your move, FaZe. I love talking about Counter-Strike, and if you do too, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. Do you think S1mple is going to do great at the Blast TV as the major, or you think it's going to be a stinker? Would you put someone else in? Would you say, don't kick Rain, don't kick Brokey? I would love to hear it, and if you want to talk more, please consider joining the Burlington's Big Shot Discord server to talk Counter-Strike 24/7. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.